Once upon a time, two boys grew up playing hockey in the village of Terrace, British Columbia. One of them went on to play in the National Hockey League. The other became a comedian. Now, one flies planes and coaches youth hockey. The other is still a comedian and owns new skates. This is their podcast, Enjoying Orange Slices with Jeff and Ian.
Hey everybody, welcome to Enjoying Orange Slices. This week, we're just going to watch the third period of the Edmonton, Florida game with you. So enjoy. What are your thoughts so far? What are your thoughts?
I think that the word on the street is to beat Edmonton even strength, but Edmonton is absolutely filleting Florida with the special teams and kicking in some even strength goals. Although now Florida in the third period is really, really coming on. I don't know. I mean, I got to tell you, can they score? Can they score 5 goals? I mean, maybe they can score more, but
I think Skinner's been the difference.
Nice
I think Skinner's been the
now,
difference so far. Like,
what has been?
I think Skinner has. If Skinner, like everything's hitting him in the chest, he's able to get all those pucks to hit him, which is huge. We got another penalty.
Well, I'll say this much. This is the first game in the series. I mean, these guys have all worked so hard to get here, but I shouldn't say the first game. But you can tell now, like, this is a whole nother level of what's going on out there in this third period. I mean, everything for these two teams, they've contested everything through the playoffs pretty much, but this third period is unlike any period I've seen in this series. It's absolutely phenomenal, and both teams getting good chances.
21-28 the shots, Florida 28 shots. That's why I'm saying Skinner's kind of standing in there a little bit more, right?
Yeah, well, you know what?
He isn't diving around.
The question is, can he beat Bob? He has to beat Bob 4 straight. So far, he's 1 game and 2.5 periods into doing that. He's been phenomenal in there. And at one point, Edmonton was out shooting Florida quite handily. And now Edmonton's like, 4 shots in the last, looks like, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 minutes. Although Edmonton's still been able to get their chances. Here's another one. And Florida's all over them here. They're kind of playing the chaotic style that you kind of expect to see out of Edmonton for them to be successful.
A little bit of a road hockey game. A little disappointed in Kachuk's little fall down, right, a couple minutes ago. But a question for you, why even call the other penalty when you're just going to call an embellishment penalty? You're slowing the game down. Just let it keep going.
I think what you're doing there is you're blowing it down so neither side
too many players
gets. I thought it was too many men there. 9:57, the whistle blows. Clear, blatant, too many men, it looked like, for Edmonton. Yeah. Guy played the puck, another guy was on the, but my thought on the embellishment is they blow it down there so that nobody, specifically Florida, gets an opportunity from a play like that. Just blow it down, give them their 2 minutes each.
What do you want with the game? Do you want to keep it going? So, like, we talk about the games being done in a certain amount of time for the excitement of the game. Like, I get that you don't want anybody to get an extra push, but it's a game, so you don't know if Florida's going to get extra or if Edmonton's going to get extra on that.
Well, I think the whistle.
I think it's part of the excitement.
Yeah, it might be, but here's the thing: I think the whistle gets blown.
Don't be so nice.
No, well, and Kazari, good Penticton boy, British Columbia. Steve Kazari called the penalty, and what happened was Kachuk went down, and from the initial vantage point, it looked like Holloway's stick was in there, which it was, and then the way he went down, it looked like a bit of a dive.
It looked like
down. And let's start over again. And yeah. Kachuk is known. He's a lot of gamesmanship with him, right? So the thing is, it's really kind of impressed me now with this series is obviously McDavid and Draisaitl are getting going. Looks like Kachuk's starting to kick it into gear. And this is going to be a wild ride to the finish. you have three. The Oilers went up by three, but twice, or was it three different times? No, it can only be twice, right? Because they only have four
Or
goals. So
twice.
they
Yeah,
went
no,
up by three twice, and somehow Florida's narrowed the lead back. So this third period is flying by. It's probably moving at a glacial pace. Here's the too many men. Two,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I haven't got it yet. I'm still dealing with
Okay,
the
so
Denny.
yeah, so the too many men. There's no question about this. They got too many men on the ice.
Like at 18 guys on the ice.
Yeah, yeah. So
One,
I
two, three,
mean, but
four,
you got to shake it
five,
off. And here's
six,
the thing: the refs don't
three,
want to.
six. Yeah.
Yeah, there's six guys. The refs don't want to decide the game with a too many men. Just like they
But
don't want
you called one the other night. They called one against
to.
Florida the other
Well, I
night. So
mean, hey, it's a penalty. I
it's a
mean, there's no
penalty.
question about it. But it didn't get
But
called.
at the same time, does Florida really want to have a man advantage? So far, Edmonton's taken advantage of them with the man advantage.
That's right. The refs might have done them a favor. But yeah, this third period has been. And here's the kind of thing with a third period like this, or a game like this. Edmonton has been a lot more disciplined. They've done a good job of coming back lower, but they love to cheat. And if they get the puck, look, as Florida's really pushing, look for Edmonton to cause some odd man rushes, maybe even a breakaway before this thing's said and done.
It is. How many players are you going with on Edmonton's side right now? Is McDavid at every second shift?
Yeah,
If he's even coming off?
He's just an airplane fly over me. Very impressive. It's an air show and a hockey game. Oh my goodness! Oh my God! You got to wait till you start like sitting here watching. There's some puck luck that maybe Edmonton wasn't getting earlier in the series that they're getting now, especially around their own net.
Absolutely. They're definitely getting some luck.
You know what? It evens out, right? And that's the great thing about the game. It normally evens out. I give Edmonton full marks for being where they are. They are hanging on with their fingernails right now, and they are going to be able to, if they play the right way, they're going to be able to create an odd man rush against, or a chance against Florida. But what were you asking me again? Ask me how I was doing.
How many
I know,
players?
you're asking me a
How many
question.
guys you going on? How many
Oh,
players you
okay.
playing?
You know what? You're down to. I'm guessing right now. If you're Edmonton, and the bench is definitely getting shortened, no question about it.
Who are your top six?
Well, it's not. I'm not playing six. I'm probably playing nine, and I might rotate the fourth line centerman in for draws. So I'm assuming both teams are going to shorten the bench. Like McDavid's out there right now with looks like Fogel. Oh, and Fogel and Perry. And this is interesting. I'm going to wait for you to catch up to me.
Here we go. This is what. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a penalty.
Yeah. So let's.
Who's it
It
called
didn't
on?
look Kulikov. It didn't look like it
Kulikov?
was that bad to me to start with. But you know what? If you let the too many men go, you got to almost kind of like the puck was nowhere near him there. But now, to me, this is the series. If Florida kills us off, I think they can come back. If Edmonton scores here, I think the game is well in hand for Edmonton.
This is excitement at its finest. Dmitry Kulikov. Where's he? Was he there last year? Did he play for them last year? Where did he come
So
from?
Kulikov's bounced around. So there's a couple guys in Florida that were with Maurice in Winnipeg. One of them is the big centerman Stenlin, and then Kulikov was in Winnipeg the first year when they went to the conference finals against Vegas.
Oh,
so he's had him. Yeah, and so Kulikov's bounced around a little bit, but he's been really effective for them this year. But that's a tough penalty. That's a tough penalty right there.
I think any penalty in the third period is a tough penalty.
Yeah, right? I would agree.
You're gonna feel a little guilty no matter what. What about Florida? Who's Florida basically trying to keep on the ice right now?
Barkov, Probably, well, Lusterinen and Lindell up front, along with, you probably, for the penalty kill, I don't know if you're going to see Reinhardt, but, you definitely want to see, so Barkov's out there with Listerine right now. Expect Lundell to come out, probably Bennett back out here soon, and then there's Lundell, and then you're going to see Ekblad, Montour, Forsland, and Ekblad, Montour, Forsland, and I'll have to wait and see here who the other guy is.
I think Bobrovsky's actually starting to get a little bit of confidence back.
Yeah, he's playing well, but this plays really well. Edmonton had a good power play there, and now we're down almost 5 minutes, right? So Edmonton's now just got to find a way to fight to the finish. I like what they did here after their power play. They brought out McLeod and I can't see who the other guy is.
It's Brown.
So McLeod gives you a lot of pace. He can cover a lot of ice, so that's good to see. Connor Brown's been unbelievable for them. Had a really, really tough year, but he's certainly been a next level player in the playoffs.
Who do you think? Florida. Who do you think the most valuable player of this series is right now?
Well, it was hands down Bobrovsky before Game 4, and now I would say McDavid's starting to work his way into the scenario, and Connor
Florida
Brown
does these lazy passes. Do you notice that they do these lazy passes across the blue line? It drives me insane.
Well, what you see in the NHL is they hold the puck so much, right? They make a play, and they instinctively, these guys are all really skilled. And they want to go east-west with it. These guys, the opposition, every guy in the NHL is so good at batting pucks down and knocking pucks down. When you go lateral with a puck, it's almost like going lateral in a football game when anything could happen, and it's usually not very good, right?
There's not much space.
So here we go. If Edmonton, to me, is getting really close to busting an odd man rush here.
Interesting. Is this just because you're a couple seconds ahead of the game?
No, they just about had one, and now Florida's all over them. So the question becomes for Florida now, we're just under 4 minutes, is when do you pull the goaltender? Because they've had just about everything go, that they could towards Edmonton.
Do you pull the goaltender? Because you still have 2 games in hand. Do you pull the goaltender like in a panic situation in this?
You panic. I just think I'm a little bit ahead of you, but we're down. Let's just say we're under 5 minutes. You have to start getting your lines and your game plan together for getting your goalie out. I like the goalie out earlier. We're talking 1 goal difference here right now. I like to see the goalie out above 2 minutes, in around the 2 minutes, or just slightly above. And if we look and see who's on the ice, Florida's big guns with 3 minutes left in the game are not on the ice right now. Oh, here they come, though. So, you got Kachuk and Bennett out there with, I'm not sure who's it, Verhaeghe maybe. So they'll probably look to get, as soon as they can get Barkov's line out there, I think you'll see them, or get a draw in the offensive zone. I think you'll see them take the goalie out.
They're going to take it before the 2 minute mark, huh? See, they've been doing a lot of they've been doing a lot of this thing Florida has, where they're just kind of giving Skinner confidence, where they just drive it right into his chest, kind of thing.
Well, but he's a massive goalie, and so here we go. We're going to TV timeout, which is huge both ways. It's
just
huge
for us. It's huge for us.
Big save. Boy, did he ever make it. Yeah, it gives us. So the TV out on the other side of 2 minutes gives you 2 things. If you're Florida, it gives you, you don't have to burn your time out, and you have an offensive zone draw. So in offensive zone draw, you can pull your goalie if you want. If you don't want to pull your goalie, you don't have to, and then you can still get an offensive draw, take your time out, pull your goalie. If you're Edmonton, you give McDavid and Draisaitl, and whoever else is going to go out there and take the draw, maybe Nugent Hopkins, or maybe you have Corey Perry for the board work. I don't know, someone like that. So now you get a rest for your two superstars, and in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the game, if it ends in regulation, I'm going to say those two are probably going to play right around 2 minutes of it.
What did you think of the new Land Rover commercial?
I liked it.
I thought that looked good too. I was like, oh, that's interesting. What's that?
Yeah, well, you know what? I really liked it. I mean, I would prefer to see more Lululemon commercials.
Yeah, those are
I think
pretty good
that would be
commercials
good.
too.
I think everyone can
Less
appreciate that.
enterprise.
High
Yeah.
quality products. I happen to be wearing Lululemon right now, and
Oh,
I love it.
he's
So,
he's he's
hey.
he's not breathing right now. He's got himself sucked into a pair of tight pants. You know what?
Well, tell me, hey, so
what's
McDavid's doing a body armor commercial. You notice there hasn't been as much, at least since I've been watching, as many BetMGM, DraftKings, as much
good point.
gambling commercials when we're on in prime time and all the kids are watching. I don't know. Am I missing something there?
Well, I don't watch much primetime football, but is betting commercials on in the primetime football?
Yeah, I think it's on pretty regularly all the time. So here we go. 2 minutes, 31 seconds. Florida offensive zone draw, have pulled their goaltender. So I like this move and a huge win.
Huge win. People of Florida very excited. Every so often you'll see an Edmonton jersey too. Love it.
Well, you know what? Could you imagine what you're paying
spending,
for a ticket? Like, I mean, I would say probably a couple grand minimum here in Florida. In Edmonton, you might have to take out a mortgage
yeah.
if they can get this back to Edmonton. So, okay, here we got Hyman. Oh, we got Henrique and McDavid. That's kind of interesting.
Henrique's been pretty good for them. I've enjoyed the way he gets, even though he gets in front and he's able to cause a little bit of havoc. Let's see.
Okay, so interesting. They didn't have Draisaitl out there, so you'll see Nugent Hopkins and Draisaitl. I'm almost sure now, and I'm not sure who the other guy is. Looks like Janmark. So who do we got? Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, and Janmark. Yeah, great. And Janmark has a.
You're a big fan of him.
Yeah, he has a way of being able to come up big in big moments. Hat trick for Vegas a couple years ago in the final, or I guess to knock out Minnesota in Game 7. He scored some massive goals in the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get himself an empty netter. And so here's your timeout. So Paul Maurice couldn't have asked for anything better. He's drawn it up perfectly. So I think Edmonton, McDavid just went off. So I think you probably would see McDavid come back on with Nugent Hopkins.
So that's interesting.
Draisaitl.
I was wondering if he called that late, so he was waiting to see if they changed. That way they couldn't come back on. You can still come back on even after like everybody's set up for the face-off, and then they call in a timeout. You're fine to come back.
Yeah,
in.
they can change whoever they want to put out there now after they
That's
call the
interesting.
timeout. Yeah,
I would have thought it would have kept on going to keep him off the ice.
we're doing this live, and then people will be watching it tomorrow. Going, what are they doing?
What are they doing?
We
These
should get
guys have
back to
no
gravel.
clue. Yeah. When are they going to give us some travel tips?
Yeah, they want some travel.
And for those people that are wondering where Darren Millard is, he's out in Halifax or someplace, right? Isn't he in PEI?
He's
That's
in
not even
PEI. He can't
Yeah.
get any further away from us, and I think he likes that.
Yeah,
I think he's
I don't
very
think-
happy that he did that. Oh, that was a huge clear. So kudos to Knobloch. He kept Nugent Hopkins, Janmark, and Draisaitl out there.
Good for Nobby.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So Edmonton's done a great job holding off and defending and winning puck battles against Florida for the most part. You know, I mean, Florida's had the puck in their zone for a lot of the third, but they've done a really, really good job.
Did Edmonton just hit an empty net post? Was that what happened?
It did. Oh my gosh. And who was it? Janmark. He just couldn't get his stick there because Verhaeghe put in just enough right rudder to keep Janmark from getting there.
It was a post. My God. How exciting is that?
Edmonton
must be so nervous.
Are we going to overtime?
I think we're going to overtime. That'd be
Okay,
exciting to have overtime.
I don't think we are going to overtime.
For the for the love of an Albertan girl's boobs, we're going to overtime. Uh, we got 58 seconds, right? Do we lose time on that? Oh, yeah, I was going to say back to a minute. Have
You
they
know
dropped it
what
on
is
your end?
hurt Florida here on this is on this two our extra man. What's hurt them is
Edmonton's good
they
at
don't have
playing.
a right-handed D-man up on the point. They've had a left-handed guy, and he's had to play pucks on his backhand up against the Edmonton bench. So Montour probably comes out now. Maybe they swapped their defenseman so they could get the one-timer. But I don't think I don't
I
think
don't
we're
think we're
getting
going to
overtime.
overtime. No, I don't think we are either. 44.3 seconds.
And
Very.
lost the draw.
Oh, this kid's nervous. That lady's nervous. She's got to bring her kids to school tomorrow. This guy just realized. Oh my goodness.
I see. You know what Edmonton's done a great job of is Florida is very good at. Oh, they got. Oh, I don't know. Oh,
I know something's happened because Carrie Ann's watching in a different room screaming. So,
yeah. Yeah.
uh,
So
oh,
you
was
know
the
what's
first
funny is Kachuk
was the
went into that
first
net. I hope his neck's okay because that thing didn't get by very much. Did he save this goal?
I don't know if he didn't save that goal.
Yeah, he did.
Oof. So they've scored 13 goals in the last two games.
I can't believe
Good
he
for
didn't
him.
knock this net off.
I'm sure he was trying
And
to, right?
then he went 5-hole on him. So McDavid got the winner. So there you go, right? Beautifully done by Knobloch, Draisaitl, McDavid offsetting each other, not out there together. So good for him. And so
Mm.
now we got ourselves a series, I think.
Now we're going back to Edmonton. And that town is going to be very excited because it almost burnt down the other day after they won. So I can't imagine what's going to happen up there now. Congratulations, Edmonton Oilers fans. You got another hockey game in your town.
Sure do.
Yeah.
And of course, here's the thing. We asked if at the start of the broadcast here, the podcast, if Florida could get to 5, and they couldn't get to 5. It is so hard to score 4 in the NHL, never mind 5. So here we go.
So question for you and to those people out there. If Edmonton had lost four games to 0, right? Is Skinner as is his career as good next year compared to now? Like if they lose now, he's still considered a good goalie, right? Whereas if they'd lost,
Well, you know what? I don't think, regardless of what happened, I don't think they were looking for a goalie in the offseason. Okay, so now they're growing, right? Every game he grows, his confidence gets a little higher. They're going back to Edmonton now. They're right there, man. Like, you know what? Now we got ourselves a series, and for the most part in this series, Edmonton's had to, they've been able to dictate play a fair amount. Now they didn't play very good in game, what was it, 3 at home. Game 4
mhm.
they were great. Game 1 they were good, and game 2 they were okay. And so if you look at it, they're down 3-2, but they've kind of had the play in games. What? Let's see, one. Look at this.
Just
One. Look at
anger.
these guys.
Sadly, those guys are just waiting until everybody leaves. Oh, look at that. Edmonton Oilers shaking hands with somebody. That was nice. Meanwhile, other people's planning.
Well, look at here. We got some action in the stands here. So
The
yeah.
oil rig is missing 2 of their guys.
So yeah.
There's
So
actually
anyways, this series
More
could
Oilers
easily be
jerseys in there that I.
3-2. Here's what it's going to come down to, I think. If Edmonton loses this series, they're going to look back and rue game one.
Mm-hmm.
If they end up winning the series, then that's immaterial, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
pretty hard to
Mm-hmm.
beat Bob down low like that, like Brown did, eh?
That was impressive. That was the beginning of everything right there, boy.
Hey, do you
Watch
see
watch when
McDavid
he
starting to take over? So
yeah. When he beats Brown though, you know what something, and I'm not a goaltender, but I'm curious to see how he slides over with his pad, but his stick stays in the same place. It's weird that that stick doesn't come out as well. You know what I mean? That.
well, it might be a human factor thing, whereas the body can only do so much, right? So
But
um,
I look at these goaltenders like drummers. You know what I mean? Everything's separate. Everything's moving separate. One, we've got a cymbal over here, a snare over here, two bass drums on the feet. You know what I mean? Like it's shocking to me that when they can't do something. When I just seen the stick stayed the same, and it felt like if the stick had slid out a little bit, it's already there, and he doesn't have to stretch with that leg,
well,
right?
yeah, I mean, that's where he's so good down low. He's tough to beat, give Brown credit, but he also got his pad across and he bounced it off his pad.
It's
Something to
insane.
note, something up note is Connor McDavid, the most points in the 2 games set in the playoffs in his history, the last 2 games.
Really?
Thanks for coming. Yeah. And we said, and here's where now you got to be concerned. He can win a game by himself. He might be able to win 2 by himself. He's definitely had his fingerprints all over the last 2. They didn't need him to be unbelievable. The last game they won 8-1. He was unbelievable tonight. Now he's got 2 games. He's got 2 games to get his hands on the cup too, which I mean, you show me
So
another
what's the next game?
sport
Next
where
game's Friday, then
Friday,
Sunday? Is it
Friday
Friday,
and
then
Monday.
Monday?
Friday, Monday. They're trying to get it into July if they can, but I'm not sure they're going to be able
I think they're trying to get into August if they can.
to.
Isn't that
Yeah,
Victoria
so
Day? They're doing a celebration of the Cup and Victoria Day.
that would be a Victoria Day.
Isn't
Victoria
that
Day
August
is
1st?
May.
What's the
August
August 1st
1st.
one?
Isn't that
Other than
that's
Riverboat Days.
BC Day? That's
That's
BC Day.
BC Day, sorry.
And for those of you maybe don't know the provinces, British Columbia Day, that's one of our favorites. So Victoria Day, you only missed it by a couple months, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
that doesn't matter.
So, hey,
Victoria
but
will
you know what
never
I was
pick it up on
thinking?
me.
If Edmonton wins the cup,
Hmm.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, so now the cup's going to be handed out after the 20th.
Yeah.
So whatever the dates are, I don't know, 21, 23. If Edmonton wins the cup, it'll be on the 25th or 26th of June. They could have their parade on Canada Day, July 1st,
Oh,
easily,
that would be insane. That would be
right? Like, but you know
insane.
what? It's kind of funny. Would they have it on Canada Day or a couple of days before? Because everyone likes to get out with their families and barbecue on Canada Day, and all of a sudden it's like we're not barbecuing anymore. We're going to go stand on the street. So,
I'm sure all the Russian players would love to do it on Monday
all right. Anything else? Hey, did you know San
today.
Jose named just switching up? Do you know San Jose named a new coach?
Yeah, I do, and he was in charge of their horrible defensive effort last year, and I was just like, "What?"
Uh,
That was a weird
we
call, man.
we're bookending the league right now. We're going with the worst team and the 2 best teams. Hey, I
And
was
they
going to
also
say,
picked up I think Goodrow from not Goodrow, starts with a G, but from the Rangers today. You know what I'm talking
really,
about? Yeah, who am I talking about?
Goudreau, Barclay Goudreau.
Goodrow, yeah, Barclay Goodrow. Yeah,
Wow, wow. Hey,
yeah.
did you know that Mike Greer already announced who they're going to draft? He let it slip at a Q&A.
They're drafting the kid with the funny name.
Yeah, is it Celebrini or Celebrini?
Yeah,
Anyways, here's the thing. His dad works with the Golden State Warriors. How
yeah.
great is that?
That's probably why they're drafting automatically, right? Like, there's no way they're letting them get away with that. That's selling
Oh my
tickets, isn't it?
God. And they already said their season ticket, just like Chicago, their season ticket drive has gone through the roof. So I think it's
It's
awesome.
I think it's awesome too. I was shocked and surprised by that pick though, for the coach. I was like, those other names, and that's what you decided to go with after saying we needed to get away from what we had here last year.
Well, you know what? I don't know. I mean, I guess the thought process is this guy knows their kids coming up in the organization really well. But you know what? I got thinking about this today, and while we're talking about this on June 18th, and the NHL still has minimum one game, maybe two left. Um,
Hmm.
we're right around the corner from two more expansion teams too. Like it's going to happen. Like I mean, Utah has this is almost like a magic trick that happened. Like I feel like Penn and Teller are going to come out and tell us how this happened, how this team got moved to Utah, right?
Right.
But so like they're up in Utah, they got the unis now, they're ready to go, they're selling out the building. So now the clock's ticking on Arizona. Arizona's not going to come in
So,
by itself,
but
right?
yeah, but
Somebody else is coming in.
there's also an automatic Arizona, right? Isn't there no matter like either the ownership that's there right now or somebody else can do it, right?
Yeah.
Like if
I
they have a
mean,
certain amount of time and if they don't get it done, somebody else gets to do it.
yeah. So what has he got? A 5-year clock or a 3-year clock? And so,
So we're at
um,
33 teams.
yeah, we're already at 33. So we just got to figure out where the expansion team's going. Money says Houston, right? Because look at what's
Ah,
happened in Dallas. Okay, just relax. It's
ah.
okay. You just made that face like the check just came out. You're like,
Ah, hold on. My little alligator arms can't get the bill.
yeah, I got to go to the bathroom. I'm like, yeah, that's the fourth time he's gone.
I'd like to get to, I can't get to my wallet.
You sound like a leprechaun now. So I don't know. I just got thinking today. I got thinking, um, I was like, I was out with Randy and we were talking about it from Randy's Sporting Goods Pro
Oh,
Shop.
I thought you're talking from Randy from room 4.
Actually, it's room two.
Is it room 2?
It's room two. But it's funny because we like I didn't get a chance to watch this whole game tonight, but when I turned it on, I was like, just oh, this is so awesome again. But we got these 2 days in between games, and we're stretching it way out. And all I can think about is the season's getting longer and longer and longer, and people's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter and
Right.
shorter. And we're going to add two more teams, and you know what that means? We're going to go to 84 regular season games. And like you said today when we were talking, the middle of the season just turns into mush,
Just
right?
mushes.
And
Yeah.
so, as much as would like to see, I'm really excited to see what Utah does. I think it'll be great, and I think it's a shame what's happened in Arizona. So maybe a fresh start can help jumpstart that city and get behind that team. Ownership's a massive part of that, and so then we have to add someone else, and that's great. But the NBA starts 3 weeks behind us, and they're already done. So we're going to go a week later than the NBA most likely. So we bookend the NBA when the NBA should be bookending us.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah, it does. Well, what's the most boring sport? And whether you like it or not, baseball is the most boring sport.
Yeah.
Who has the most games?
Yeah.
Baseball. So to keep your sport exciting, I think you'll have to decrease the number of games that are played to make FOMO. You want people to fear missing out on anything. But also you got to have, I guess you have to have everybody's got to play everybody. But hasn't there been years where teams haven't played each other?
You know what? Maybe, well, obviously in COVID, they didn't,
Right, but
right?
I mean, like other times, like it just so you're excited for them to come to your town the next year.
Well, you know what? When the Battle of Alberta gets going, when you have um, Montreal and Toronto, or Montreal, Boston, Boston, New York. I mean, the Islanders and the Devils obviously have a huge rivalry, but all those big rivalries, were started when the league was way, way smaller, right? You
Smaller.
had the original
Yeah.
6, and then you were at 21, right? And now you're trying to get these other rivalries going. Like a great built-in rivalry should be Vancouver, Seattle. Hasn't got there yet. Calgary, Edmonton played 3 times this year. So what's going to happen if we go 2 more teams and go to 84 games, right? And so where you get rivalries now isn't from regular season games; it's from playoffs, and
Right.
they're going to have to adjust the playoff format too. So
maybe that's where you go with more games. Maybe there's more teams in the playoffs.
Well, I like that idea, but again, one of the reasons they wanted to go to 34 is they wanted to get a couple more games. We should go get Elliot Friedman on one day because he's the guy who was talking about that, not me. I'm just going to give you inaccurate information on that. But
That's how we do it.
That's how we roll, right?
That's why we should change the name to this to inaccurate information.
We could even make it a longer title. Most likely inaccurate information.
No, and we're not even positive about that.
Hey, but you know what? We don't even know. But we do know one thing. We got to chirp Mallard a little bit. So he goes to light me up today. Can't even spell my name right in the text. And then he says he can't get a hold of anyone, can't do anything because he doesn't have any Wi-Fi or anything else. But somehow he's texting us. So he's you know what? He's in PI.
He's Anna Green Gables in it.
Him and his glove hand.
Let's call him that for a while. Let's call him Anna. Anna Green Gables is his new nickname. Anna. Anna Millard.
Anna Millard.
We love it. He's so funny. He's a good guy. We like him. He's a lot of fun. We miss him on this show. Anyways, shall we wrap it up? Shall we do some shout outs?
We'll wrap it up. We kind of went all over the place at the end there, but I want people to think about that. If we add more teams, and we're already ending this year at the end of June, and everything was normal in the NHL this year, we got to figure this out because we're going to add more playoff games, right? So here's a question for you. Do we shorten the regular season a little bit and get a big group more of teams in the playoffs? Like, do we add 6 more? Do we add 6, 8 more teams in the playoffs? So in a 34 team league, if we get there, do we get 20? What do we get? 16 now. So do we get 22 or 24 teams in and start the ball rolling on best 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5, right? And start the playoffs earlier. I don't know.
I think so. End of mid. What do we start now? We start beginning October, right? So when we start
October 10th or 11th, and
so
I know
we should
they're
go
afraid of
the week before Halloween,
and other stuff, right?
But they should go the week before Halloween is when they should start, or even November 1st. Yeah, the NHL. So that like a little bit later into the fall and a little bit back. Like it should end in March. It shouldn't end in April.
Okay, but how are you going to put those games in there then? How many games are you going to play?
12.
Hey, you know what you should do? You should play 33 games.
33 games.
Expansion team and play everybody once.
Everybody plays everybody once, and then the playoffs are a best of 14.
Hey, a best of 14. Hey, you know what my favorite part about this is my favorite part about all this is, hang on.
Whoa.
I don't know what happened to me there. Oh, I went away. There I am back. Is the best of 14. So it's tied at the end of 14 games. It's tied 7-7, and we're gonna have a shootout.
Yeah, we're gonna have a shootout, and then after that, it's a quarter flip.
Hey, what do you think? I told you this when I was in junior. We used to do best of 9.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
If there's ever been a league that's known how to just workhorse kids, like they talk about child labor all the time, but that league child labored like you wouldn't believe.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was crazy. Best of 9.
Best of 9?
Best of 9. So you'd go 2, 3, 2, I think. Because 2, 3, 2, which would get us to what, 7 games?
2, 3, 7, yeah.
5, 2, 3, 2, yeah, 7 games. And then for 8 and 9, you'd bounce back and forth. And we play Kamloops when I was in Portland one year, best of 9.
And did you guys go full 9?
No, we flew to Medicine Hat. And we played them in the Western Hockey League finals, and I think they flew out. But oh yeah, it's crazy.
Awesome.
So,
That's
anyways,
awesome.
we went all over the road there. No travel tips this week or places to stay. Hey, what do you want to give yourself a quick plug for next week? Where are you going to be?
This week I'm in Irvine. Next week I'm in Tacoma. Sunday in the Tacoma Dome. Bigfoot.
That never gets old.
Never gets old.
Never gets old. That's never.
It's
do you want to give any shout-outs?
also when I go by when I'm in there and I have to go into from Tacoma to Seattle and you go by Puyallup, I start to giggle as well. I'm like, it's the Puyallup days or whatever they used to advertise on.
The Fall Fair.
The Fall Fair, Puyallup
Fall Fair is a big deal.
It's huge.
Big deal.
You want to take a Puyallup to the face?
No, you don't. Okay, so what do we shout out anybody this week?
Yeah, well, so who should we shout out?
You want to do a dual shout out? You want to shout out Mallard all the way out in Prince Edward Island?
Double shout out to Mallard. Mallard, one of the best people in the world, just taking his family out and putting them in a field for a summer vacation.
With a view of the ocean from time to time.
Just staying in a tent in front of the clam beds. Oh my God.
Yeah, how about this one? Since we're shouting him out, we'll give a quick story. So we're going on the ice last week. Sometimes he comes on with us, right? So like,
with his bad arm?
Well, heck, well, let me way to give away the story.
Well, he had it last week on the show.
Well, I know he did, but I don't think we talked about that. Maybe we did. It was a week ago. So one of the parents texts me and goes, "Hey, do you want a coffee?" And of course, we always get him a really nice drink, and we put lots of straws and umbrellas on it, make it look a little tropical. And he comes wheeling in. He's got this big club on his arm, this cast from his elbow down to covering his whole hand. It's like, I guess you're not skating today. What are you doing? He says, well, I had surgery on Friday. It's like, you didn't tell anybody? Hi. Yeah, he just came down. So he stayed down there with us for an hour and about a half. We have the coffee. I'd come over to the bench on the breaks and we'd, shoot the bull, and then he'd chirp the kids and chirp their parents, and then he was gone.
He just came in and Costanza them. For those that don't know, Mallard was involved in a bicycle accident a couple years ago, and that's why I had to have that redone. But I seen Gordon Ramsay this week. He rides a bike, and he was in an accident, and he was from his ribs down to his leg. He was black and blue, and he showed the picture of that, and I'm like, oh, it's time to just stay in the car, boys. It's time to stay in the car.
I don't know. This is like a PSA, public service announcement. If you're on a bike. Or actually, I think about this when I watch people walking too.
Helmets.
If you're on a bike and I don't know why, I'm just saying this. When you're on a bike on the road and you got both your headphones plugged in, you jamming out to whatever you're listening to, you can't hear anything. You're in your own world. You're counting on everybody, right, to be able to see you and avoid you. And you're seeing a void too. But I was like, you got to have some tunes in. That's great. But at least have one ear so you can kind of hear, like when the guy locks up his tires behind you, that you might have a chance, or you're walking to kind of, you're situationally aware of what's going on around you. So just throwing it out there.
People got to remember, it's not, most of the time, it's not that they just ignore you. It's they can't see you for whatever reason. Sunlight, a pole just gets in the way. So don't just automatically think that people can see you, because nobody wants to hit anybody. Well, there's a couple people out there, but for the most part, nobody wants to hit anybody.
I kind of feel like the guys on bikes, Mallard's he's gonna get them all together against us, because they're like, hey, they got to look out for us. We have right on the road too. And I'm like, I get it. You do have a right on the road, but you're in skin tight outfit with not a lot of protection. So just make sure you look out for yourself. Okay. That's what we want. We're just trying to help you.
we're just trying to help you. There's two things I like. There's a TikTok that I love. There, our guy's got a fence on there's a bike path beside his house, and they've put up a gate, and he's got a camera on it, and it's just people flying off these bikes over this gate. And it's pretty amazing. And the sounds, all you go, it's just amazing. And then the other one I like, there's a guy with he's got the Lycra outfit on, and it just says vegan on it. And it says underneath, if they didn't like you, if they didn't hate you for being a bike rider to begin with.
Yeah. Hey, hopefully on there somewhere it said gluten-free too.
Gluten-free.
You gotta watch out.
Gluten-free vegan.
Guys are gonna be steering your way. Hey, we gotta end with
we gotta end. That's it.
No, we're done. But we gotta end because we're partially a hockey podcast as well. Where do you find where those men's league guys came out in all the same outfits with the white pants? You gotta Google that.
I will send it to Brian right afterwards. And this is how we're ending tonight. If we could be any team, it's going to be the orange team. Loved all.
Loved all.